Hello, friends, and welcome back. We are back from the holiday break, back talking Berserk, and I think we talked the other day. We're getting close to the end. Like, we're not the end, but getting close to being caught up, I guess you could say. So it's good to have everyone back. It's been, we took a break, but it's fun to do this every Sunday. So, Joe, will you start us off, please?
I'm JCM Byrne, author of The Hybrid Helix and Partial Function, and editor-in-chief of Grim Dwarf Magazine. And you can find me at my website, jcmbyrne.com, or on Patreon at jcmbyrne, or jcmbyrne@gmail.com. You just pick one of those iterations. They all link to me, because I'm the only one, apparently, so far. 4 issues of Grim Dwarf are out now. You can get the 4th issue I released this morning.
Yes, I got the notification this morning. I'm excited to.
If you join the Patreon, you can join at the free tier and get notified about every one. And I promise not to spam you with junk, or beg you to get a paid tier. I won't do that either. So that's it.
And Dan.
Dan, just a reader of things. Read Berserk before, but now we're at the part where I just have a vague recollection of what happens. Nothing too precise. So yeah.
Nice. And Varsha.
Hi, my name is Varsha. I have a YouTube channel called Reading by the Rainy Mountain, where I like to talk about books and mostly with other people, which is fun. And yeah, this is my first time reading of Berserk. I really enjoyed that last volume, so I'm excited for this discussion.
So I read there's a portion where it describes the bird in was it Hindu mythology? Is that did I get that right?
The bird. Do you mean when he calls to Garuda?
Yes, I wanted to see. Is that accurate or is that?
Yeah, so Garuda is this half eagle, half man creature. I don't, as far as I know, it's just one person named Garuda. It's not a type of being, but China Behavioral uses it differently, and I like that. But yeah, it's half eagle, half man. He is famously the bird that warned Ram that Sita's been abducted, but that from the myth Ramayana in Indian mythology. There was also a reference to Durga's prana, the armor being made of Durga's prana, which Durga is the goddess of, like, she's the form of the god, the angry form of one of the goddesses in the pantheon. And she kills demons when she gets angry. She gets her, or is that Kali? I guess Durga becomes Kali or something. I don't know. I don't know all her transitions, but she kills demons too. Durga is also typically depicted with some demon under her feet and 10 hands killing people, killing demons. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Sounds very complicated. Yeah. I've always been interested into learning a bit about Indian mythology. It just sounds very complicated.
It is, but it's also fun, I guess. So you know what? I'm such a dum-dum. So I have a strange relationship with my history and culture, but this, as in, like, I became an atheist when I was 8 years old, and then I rejected everything since. But now I'm like interacting with everything with a more open mind. But so I don't know a lot of things that other people might tend to do, and why Joe knows a lot more about these things than I do sometimes. But this, yeah. So I recently discovered that Durga is the same as Parvati, which I should have known growing up, but I didn't. So anyway, it is like it's a fun. It's fun when I'm just in it for the stories.
Fair enough.
I tried watching a movie about Ram and Sita the other day, and I had to stop.
This was it the one with Prabhas?
Yes.
It was not a good movie.
It was so bad. And I'm like, it's
It
Provis, and he did
was.
so many amazing movies.
I
This movie's going to be fantastic. And I turn on, and I'm like, what is going on? It's just, and they had a
no,
super high
no.
budget, but they just must have spent it all on coke because I had no, I just snorting, going, this is going to be amazing, man. I don't know. That's how it felt. It felt like a bunch of like high school. It was so bad. They got Saif Ali Khan, who I love, but Provis, who I love more, and it's just no. It was just so I had to stop. And I watched a lot of bad movies, but I couldn't finish this one.
It was. I only heard someone watching it, and I decided it
It
wasn't
It was a
good.
box
Like it.
office failure, and it's
Mhm.
Provis. And if he's in a movie and it doesn't do well, it must be bad. Because people love him, right? They'll go to see any he's in. So it has to be extra bad to, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Has to be extra bad.
So you stopped before you met the Garuda in that movie?
No, we met the Garuda, I guess. It was really just a
Okay.
big bird who was trying to protect Sita, and there was this huge battle scene that managed to be like a giant bird chasing a demon riding like what the heck was he riding? Like some kind of dragon creature through the
Push.
skies,
Oh.
and it managed to be super boring. And that's a gift,
Wow.
right? Like this should be a super exciting, but you're just like, can we get to the end of the scene already? Because it's killing me. It was really sad. But
Yeah. Yeah. That you shouldn't have. That's. Shouldn't have watched it. I mean, not stopped watching it. That you absolutely should have
did
done.
not try a Provis movie. He's such an inspiration to me.
The
Oh.
the sage was also called Paramarisha Senani, which also I guess I recognize the words. Paramrishi is, I think, sage. I thought so, and I'm pretty sure the what he calls uh, guts is mistranslated. What something Vadana Kshatriya, the Veeravadana Kshatriya. I think it means the face of a warrior. The Kshatriya with the face of a warrior. But it was translated as the Kshatriya with the face of a beast.
Is that why you enjoyed this part because of all the references?
I'm trying to think. I think so, but also I guess how the magic worked. Yeah, mostly I guess I recognized the words and I was like, this is fun to read. Maybe. If I'm being honest, that's probably the biggest reason why.
Let's have a spin-off series about these guys. These guys are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so we saw the return of the weird elephant octopus things again.
Yep.
And also the return of Isidoro being a complete ass. Oh my god, I hated the
He saved the
beginning.
day, though. If not for him, they all would have been. He really was the savior. He's the one who threw the thing that actually hurt the guy.
I guess.
Oh, well. He's just going to brag about it for 20 years more because there's nothing else he's going to be able to do. So he'll just pick on Shiarka because she's doing something and he's not.
He didn't do anything else wrong.
This is another one of those volumes that it's a lot of people standing around watching saying, "Oh, I can't believe this is happening. He's so powerful. He's so wow, I can't believe it. Look, he's so wow, look at him go." It's like, okay, I get it.
Well, at least we get some cool action panels of Guts fighting. So that's always good, you know. Even if we've seen them a lot of times before.
And yeah, I had one thought when I read this volume, which is, the Berserk is sort of famous for being, dark fantasy or, having a very dark tones, almost horror. People describe it. If someone came in and read this volume, they would probably wonder how that happened. Because this volume doesn't really read Gesundheit. as right. It doesn't really read as like dark particularly. Like yeah, they're any more than any fantasy with like wizards throwing lightning bolts around and a giant water snake and it's
Yeah.
magically and but it's not particularly horrific. There's nothing like even the fights. It was all in the sunlight, in brightness, on water. It's just not there's no sense of the horrific origins of everything. Compared to other times where it's like, oh, they just left the city where bodies are, stapled to the walls everywhere. But you don't really, none of that in this volume. If you just read this volume, you would not think, oh, dark fantasy. So that was interesting to me. It's. I wonder if he's just trying to pace himself, like so that when we get to a dark thing again, we feel like it is not relentless, so it hits harder, or if he just wanted some action scenes, or I don't know. Which isn't it's not a criticism. It's a real change. It's a different tone than we've often gotten, and it's not
Yeah.
full of silliness either. I know you guys don't like Isidro, but like the funny faces thing, it only happens like one or two times, and it's pretty minor. Like they make a couple
Yeah.
puns about something about some multi-language school in Japan. I didn't get it all, but like there's not a lot of that stuff either to lighten the mood.
Mhm.
It's just a lighter tone.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the whole manga has been slightly moving towards this direction for a while, I feel. But, well, we don't know if it's going to stay here or if it's going to go in somewhere else, but it's not.
Right. But,
I don't think it's a big surprise, right, given what. I guess there's been some parts, even in this city, right, when there was all the people hanged and everything, which were a bit dark, but I don't think we've been seeing too many extremely dark things in like this arc, sort of, in the city, right?
no, there's like in this city?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
I think it's it's like this arc when they get to this city, right?
I'm thinking of the last
After they go to the.
with the giant womb thing of apostles stitched together. That was pretty gruesome. That was the last thing we saw. I think.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. It's
But-
been happening. It's not all.
But I consider that some sort of like parallel arc that's happening. It's not the same story. Like it doesn't affect at all the story that's happening here, really.
Right.
Right. It's just a separate storyline.
I don't mean that as a.
Sorry. I did wonder if I think we talked about how Miura wrote a lot of this while fighting through a depression himself. So I have been wondering in the last couple of volumes whether he was in a happier place through these, because you're right. It does feel more cheerful overall, even though we have battles, unmitigated battles, very similar to. I think just the fact that Guts is surrounded by people who care about him makes a lot of difference, even though it is relentless still. I think the last, what, 2 or 3 volumes in the city, he's just been fighting without a break. And yet it doesn't feel as hopeless as it used to before.
Maybe he's just maybe he's still depressed and he doesn't want to write more depressing shit.
That's true.
I've seen that happen for other authors. It's like they can be depressed and write depressed stuff, or the complete opposite, right? Depending on how they cope or how they, right? I don't know. Mental stability makes you do different things depending on different people. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
That makes sense. Yep. But to your point, I definitely noticed the change in tone and did wonder about it a little bit too.
Even the artwork, there is a little bit of the kind of the dark fantasy. The creatures come out for a little bit, but even the artwork felt lighter and didn't feel as heavy. Didn't feel as dark, as bleak. Different feel to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sage person felt almost comic to me. I don't know if he was supposed to be read that way, but uh, it, he felt slightly comic rather than terrifying, I guess.
I mean, even his language, right? Like, I was thinking about what made the sage, because the sage comes across as as like not a bad guy, right? He comes across as, yeah, he's working for the
Hmm.
enemy, but he doesn't, like, why? Like, what is it? It's because he's not talking about, man, I can't wait until all these monsters get into the city and start eating people. Like, he doesn't say stuff like that. He's just sort of like, oh, well, this is my country. We're going to war. I'm working for this side because these are my people, right? Which we sort of get that's how that works, and he doesn't seem to like particularly relish like the killing of the innocents, or at least not that we know of. And then he's like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to test you out, see how tough you really are. But like everyone who's sure, it's totally normal. Like it's a reaction to have. It's like when someone new comes in your martial arts class, you're like, oh, let's see what this guy's got. Like that's totally like not an extremely
I mean, he is using an army of demons to invade a city. Just saying. I assume he doesn't, I don't think he's taking many precautions to make sure these demons don't kill innocent people.
right.
Plus he's working, like him being like an important, how do you call it, magician on their side? I don't remember the name they have for these guys.
They call him Paramarisha Senani.
Okay. Too complicated. But yeah,
This magic wizard or something.
I
I think it was a
assume
warrior wizard.
he had some part in the demon womb thing, probably. And also it's like, okay, well, it's like saying, well, this German guy in World War II, he was just fighting for his country. He didn't do anything bad himself. I mean, he's an accessory, and he's, you know what I mean? I wouldn't call him he's just some guy doing nothing wrong. I mean, I guess. It's a pretty brutal world, though.
But you're not going to read, if you're not going to finish this volume, and you're not going to be like, man, whatever else happens in this series, I hope this guy dies. Like, no one's like he's not rival. Like think about like the priest, like the priest with the square face. Like we wanted him to die really fast. Right? We were just like, I hope this guy ends up with a sword, in wherever. But this guy, it's definitely not. So that's all I meant.
Yeah.
It
just feels like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, the writer writes it that way, but if you think about it a second,
right.
You're like, I mean, maybe. Or it's like when he summons his snake thing, right? His snake water god. Like, you can see the snake water god destroying the galley, and then all the people try to get out and getting drowned under, like, it's like you're not supposed to care about that, I guess. You're not supposed to think about it. Wait a second, he's fucking over all his guys on his galley,
they're
kind of
Christian soldiers, right? They're on their way to to be bad. So
still, just say, but yeah, I agree with your point. Like, if we ignore these things which are not being highlighted by the author for, because he doesn't want us to think about it. Right, that's not the point. It just things that you probably didn't think about. It's like, oh well, the reader will never think about this stupid shit. So I'm not gonna bother with justifying it.
Just relatively speaking, you're gonna like this guy more.
Yeah.
And he's kind of cool. I like the Kundalini thing.
Yeah. This tiny snake in a giant snake of water.
So, am I the only one who saw the imagery there with the snake that looked like something else?
Wait, was there? I didn't see.
Am I the only one who, or is it just?
Wait, what?
Am I the only one who thought this is kind of strange?
What am I supposed to be seeing?
Yeah, Steve, you got to elaborate. What are we?
It looked like a giant sperm, didn't it?
Did it?
Oh.
Wait.
I mean, am I the only one who saw that? I mean, I don't know. Like, I pay attention to that in this series because there's a lot of imagery and like the demons and there's a lot of like phallic stuff going on sometimes in the past. So maybe because maybe I was just looking for something, but I thought there was some kind of reason it looked like that. Am I the only one? So now I feel awkward.
Oh, like a small snake inside the big snake.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe, I guess some it's hard to say if it's... But maybe. There are, I can see how you would see that. I can see, if you're thinking about sperm all day and then you see that, you're like, well, kind of,
I knew that was coming.
No, but like some of the panels are a bit like that. But it's also like, well, it's a snake in water. How else are you going to do it? I guess.
Yeah, I don't think there were a ton of choices to be made. If it's just like an amorphous snake-like tube of water, it's going to kind of look like that. Once you get the idea.
But I was thinking, like, the actual big water snake maybe does look a bit phallic. But maybe, I was unsure. I was like, because he does also look a bit cute, sort of, because he's, like, very roundish, and he's got, like, just, you know what I mean? He's very cartoony, sort of.
With
snake.
those two shiny eyes.
Yeah. He doesn't have, like a very triangular snake, like, evil snake face. He's got a very round, soft, snake face.
A friendly snake.
I'm embarrassed how long it took me to figure out that the sage dude was sitting on top of the snake's head. Like, what is this blob that he's sitting on top of?
Took me a while too. I didn't get that until later.
I think when we first see it, I thought it was like, do you know where one of the big, like the hand guys has his like portal sort of thing? Because they have this sort of same texture. When he does like to block attacks like dimensional portals or something. That's what I thought it was. Because it looks like it's used, I think he used a very similar, what do you call it? Like pattern. Because to draw these mangas, they just have like preset patterns they can put on and draw. That's why some of them look like, you see the pattern are pretty flat. They don't follow the curve. Maybe use some similar pattern to do that. But yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was a series of discs. I didn't realize immediately that it was a snake before seeing it in different configurations.
Yeah, it was series of discs describes what I saw the first time too.
Yeah.
So I think I like this volume also because of the hellfire ball thing that was unleashed, and also the final defeat with the ball eating up the water. That I don't think we've seen a lot of use of strategy. Maybe since Shirka started helping them out a little bit, but even that was just, let's bring this one thing up. I'll awaken whatever I awaken, and then it'll deal with these bad things. This was, maybe I could be wrong, but it felt like I think the first time that they used strategy to defeat instead of swinging a sword or just doing the worst they can with whatever magic they're able to awake in that area. So I think that also I liked about this volume.
A little more like a D&D adventure.
Yeah. Guts does usually, though, like in every big fight, not a fight against like weak whatever creatures. He does have like that one moment of strategy, right? Be it, if you think about it, I take the sword in my teeth, or I let myself get stabbed, or, I do this diversion or something, right? There's always that one little bit of strategy.
I use the cannon.
That he does use.
Like when he uses the cannon to like give a little extra impetus to a sword swing. In the other direction. I keep waiting for him to do that again, but I'm waiting in vain.
No, only one time.
That's, I guess. No, he does use moments, but they're working as a group. It feels more like a tabletop role playing game. Couple sessions here. They're all getting their licks in.
Yeah. The DM put the big flaming wheel and he's like, will they notice?
Yeah.
Will they use it?
Whoever plays, what's her name? Not Shirka, but the Lady Farnese. Whoever played her, I hope she was home for this volume, because She got to do nothing but a little bit of. He's really amazing, isn't he? And he barely that,
Or what was the other thing? Oh, teacher. Or was it? She kept repeating that too
Yeah.
Yeah.
when they were teaming up.
Or
I kind of I assume it's because she's calling her sensei and she has to now because she's being taught, but it's so weird. The translation is weird. I wish they'd kind of just kept sensei in that would read a lot better.
Yeah. But I think it's just, yeah, there's not really much she can do right now, is there? I mean, she did have, in the previous volume, using her snaky thing to help in the fight, but,
they're not going to work.
I think she needs a bit more character development, and now is not the time to give her more abilities or something. I think.
But do you feel like we still made extremely glacial progress towards getting to a boat? At this rate, I feel like we'd be on volume 41 and still not have left this continent.
When did they get to the city? How many volumes ago?
They got there 2 volumes ago.
Just 2 volumes? Oh,
I think
okay.
it's been more than that.
Has it been more than that? Well, no, yeah, maybe it has been.
Maybe not. I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah.
Uh,
3, 4 at least, I think.
Wow.
I think.
We had one with that huge battle between Guts and Serpico. Then that wasn't the last volume. And the volume before that, they were just generally hanging about town. They had a couple of volumes where the girl went back to her home, and funny is they went back to her home and they tried to get her back. So
It's been
Yeah,
at
it's been a
least
while.
3, maybe
3 and a
4.
half volumes, I think. They arrived there at the
Yeah.
end of volume 29. So it hasn't been that long, to be honest. If you want to, okay, if you're considering, if you're like, okay, well, we're going to make an arc out of this city, or a mini arc or something, right? Then it's not been that long, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
I will be patient.
But
But it feels like a long time because of remember when they got to a beach and they're like, oh, now,
Yeah.
and we were all like, oh, they're about to get on a boat. That was a long time ago.
yeah,
It really was like 6 or
Yeah.
4 volumes. Right? So,
Yeah.
like, it just is like, all right, get there already. And this is just, and I don't know. Are we learning new things? We kind of knew that what's his name was an apostle. He could turn into lightning. We're getting some details about some of the creatures he summons, but they almost don't seem to matter. Like all these little monsters, like Guts can kill them with his sword, and they're no threat to Griffith. Right? So, like, yeah, they're horrific, and there's a lot of them, but they're not really important to like any of our main characters. It's like, oh, another, like even in this volume, they're like, oh, this happens all the time. Right at the beginning, right? And it's like, oh, just another day in the park, right? We're just like, all right, you've made monster killing a little boring. All right, congrats. I don't know. The day of routine monster killing. All right, but it doesn't feel like we're getting progress where we want it. Like we don't feel any closer to like healing Casca, Guts confronting Griffith.
Yeah.
I think that's how it feels. It feels, I don't want to say, it's not a slog. I mean, there's a ton of action. Stuff's happening. It's fleshing out a part of the universe I think we kind of don't care about. Like, do we care about this wizard guy? He's clearly not as tough as the king.
Yeah.
Which means he can't take on, like, Griffith. So, I don't know. I'm not complaining. I don't mind it. It's just, it feels slow. It feels slow. We're not really getting anywhere. We're grinding there, but we're not really.
Yeah. I think the interesting part of this was like the one time where the Emperor asks Guts, we're like, oh, do you want to join me to fight Griffith?
Yeah,
so at least we get some more. Okay, well, Guts is not going to do that, I guess.
Yeah.
Totally should have, though. His argument against doing it was terrible.
I think he should have. Yeah, I thought he might. I was like, oh, okay, this is going to take a turn, and then he didn't. But should have known better. It's not something Guts would do. I don't think he's much of a. He's not. I don't think he would team up with someone like that or be indebted to someone like that. But still, I thought it might be fun.
This was Guts' moment where he got sort of the same choice that Griffith had, right? Your single-minded goal I'll help you fulfill it. And he refused. It isn't okay. So this is interesting because Griffith isn't a follower, but he took that choice. Guts didn't. But then I guess Griffith got to be one of the like big big dudes, not have his destiny and fate eternally blended to a single purpose. He had a lot more choice than Guts was offered
Yeah,
in this deal, I suppose. So
And he wasn't being made a
yeah,
subordinate. It's not like you come work for the God Hand and you can have this and this. It's join the God Hand and you can have this and this and this.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
better offer than Guts
Hmm.
got.
Mm.
but do you think the old Guts would have agreed, like the Guts of Volume 1?
I don't think
Hmm.
so. I feel like he hates the apostles enough. Even then, like the derision he had for them,
Hmm.
it was like working with one of them has to be appalling for him. I think that like I kind of guessed that he would like not just for the story, but it felt like the right thing to do for him as a character. Uh, refuse, and I think mainly because it would he'd have to work really hard to twist himself into working in conjunction with one of the apostles,
Hmm.
I think.
Fair.
He did make a pretty compelling offer, though. Like, well, your singular purpose will be killing Griffith, and getting your revenge. And that's kind of like it's like
Is
it's like telling
is
me, hey, we'll just like you can eat cake all day and not do anything. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. Like it's like who can say no to that?
But
But
presumably he'd have to.
but isn't that sorry,
But
go
that
ahead.
means he's not trying to heal Casca anymore. He's not with
that's
Shirky
true.
anymore. He's getting the offer to work for what's his name, and he'd have to give up those attachments because his singular
Well, he
purpose would have
can.
to be that.
Can't he just give Casca and other guys to the Emperors? Like, oh, put them on a galley, bring them to the Elf Island. They'll figure it out. They don't need Guts, to be honest.
But he needs
Technically.
them. That's what I'm saying. That he'd have to give up his
Hmm.
attachments to them, even though he could still presumably ensure that they'd be okay. He's decided he's not. He doesn't want to be the person whose
Yeah.
only goal is killing Griffith. He wants to be the person who's
Yeah.
protecting Casca. So, which makes it seem even more likely that if he'd been offered this in the Volume One version had been offered this chance, his answer might have been different. Like, oh, yeah, it's like Steve said. Oh, you want me to just kill demons all day? Sure,
Yeah.
sign me up.
Mm.
But now he's not that guy anymore.
But what was he being offered? Like extra powers and stuff to be able to handle the demons? Because I feel like your single-minded purpose will be to kill Griffith. That was his goal in volume one anyway. Like that was his single-minded purpose. It no longer is his single-minded purpose, but it's something he might still pursue at some point. But it, what is he being offered that would help him get there? Other than instead of thinking, instead of having free will about it as your goal, you can now come join me in my revenge, but we'll still do all the same things.
I think from what we know, like, there's nothing the Emperor has which would be able to help Guts kill Griffith, as far as we know.
Mm,
Maybe, I mean, technically, if he wanted to go that route, he could have him join them, and the Emperor shows him, oh, I have this sword which is specifically made to kill. You know what I mean? It could have been bad, but
yeah.
we haven't seen anything like that. And the last time there was a confrontation between the Emperor and Griffith, he looked a lot weaker. Let's just put it like that.
Mm,
So yeah, I don't see what advantage would be. Like how it's framed right now, it seems like they're gonna find some information in the Elf Island or something, probably that's gonna help drive forward the story or something. You know what I mean?
mm,
But if he wanted to change it, he could. But how it was set up before this, I guess, yeah.
yeah. What did surprise me though was how quickly he refused. I thought he'd
Mm.
think about it for a bit.
It's not to think about things kind of guy.
So
Yeah.
if he's being made this offer, does this mean that they're nervous about Griffin? They see him as a bigger threat because they're willing to make this deal with Guts.
The Emperor has to. He's not stupid.
Yeah.
He has to.
So how desperate are they?
It's an interesting thing because the Emperor is clearly a bad guy, and so is Griffith. That's what makes That's what I think makes this whole area. The Emperor is like they could have done it differently, where like the Emperor was just conquering, and he was just a power hungry dude, and he without all the horrific stuff that he did to innocent people along the way, and it would be a morally very more complicated storyline. You know, but by making him unequivocally evil and making Griffith unequivocally evil, but apparently not on the surface, it's I still love it. It's a very interesting dynamic that's been set up.
Yeah. Like some of the evil stuff that Emperor does, it's like I don't see why you're doing this. Like, okay, I understand making the demons everything else is like, well, you're going against very strong forces. You need a, like that's the strength he needs to conquer things. But like, I don't know, just randomly murdering everyone in the cities, like that doesn't help anyone.
Well, they kind of make him out to be a little bit of I want to wreak havoc on the world in my name, not anyone else's.
But why does he want to do it? I don't know. I thought from his backstory that he just wanted to conquer everything because that way he's not threatened. Like there's nothing that can kill him or threaten him. That's what I thought.
He says a lot that's along the lines of I want the world squashed. And I don't remember the exact lines, but he's got the big mustache. A lot of twirling, needs to be done.
Yes.
It's a little cartoonish, right? But I mean, that's okay. A lot of the apostles are kind of cartoonishly evil.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
I think he fits. He fits in that sense.
But yeah, it could have been just like, like he wants to conquer. Maybe he does all these horrific things because he needs to fight against Griffith, sort of. And without doing those things, how are you going to do it? And then, when he conquers everything, it's gonna be, it's gonna be relatively peaceful, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, that's not how.
Right. They're making it clear that if he wins, lots of people are gonna, the streets will run with blood. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
All right. So we know that we're not unsure. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
But I do kind of, I don't know. If I'm showing the Emperor and Griffith, I'm like, I want the Emperor to beat Griffith. You know what I mean? It's a bit because it is a bit similar to. I'm not saying it's the same. I mean, it is a bit similar to Griffith in the sense, just like again, someone trying to go with his own powers to defeat, I guess, the god, right? It's still like defiance, I guess. That's how I'm gonna put it. Which was interesting, but he's a bad person, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Griffith's army started showing up at the end of that volume. Do you think coincidence? I had a brief moment where they're protecting Guts from this apostle, but I don't think so. I am curious about why they are there. Are these so? I haven't been following along with the politics a whole lot. So is it that the Kushan armies invading or trying to invade Midland, and so these guys and Griffiths trying to defeat Kushan? That they are their prime enemies.
Yeah.
And where is the place that they are at right now? Is that in the Midland Empire or is it on the borders?
It's the big capital, isn't it? It's not Midland. It's like the place where all the armies were gathering from the whole Holy See, and the Midland armies were gathering to raise forces they could take back Midland. But I don't think it is Midland. I think it's because it's where what Farnese's dad lives.
Yeah. But I think it must be the country of Midland. Still in the country of Midland.
But it's not
right?
the capital.
No, it's not the capital. No,
okay.
But it's still in the country of Midland, I think.
It could be.
That's how I
I lost
interpreted
track.
it.
Oh, I'm not sure. But
Because I thought all the troops assembled there were of Midland, of different parts of Midland. I thought, because then there's the guy, what's his name? The guy that owns the ship. But he says, well, this is not my war. I'm not a guy from Midland, so I'm just here to see what happens.
I think it's the
And then go
combined forces
home.
of everyone who answers to the Holy See.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
So
he doesn't
maybe
answer
you're
to the
right.
Holy See. That's his specific point. Because in that same statement, he's like, I don't follow that sect. Right? We're not centered
Mm.
to the
Oh,
Holy
okay.
See. We're a different version of the religion. I'm sure they're just weird
Okay.
Protestants, right? Like that's the implication. So I think the forces there are from other countries.
Okay.
I think this is meant to be the big battle to stop the Kushans, which means Griffith has to show up. They've got to try to
Yeah.
take out what's his name and yeah. So
But I thought we already knew he was going to show up because there was the witch girl, the seer girl before that was saying that.
well, she said there was going to be like
Mm.
blood in the streets, but that could just be from the Kushans invading.
Yeah. I thought she said something like that they were going to arrive there
Maybe she did.
and
Yeah,
do so. I thought.
she.
But maybe I'm wrong.
We,
Again,
we,
it
we
was a
know
couple-
Griffith has to show up sooner or later. He showed up at the Capitol to steal Princess Charlotte. Now, but if sooner or later he's going to have to show up to stop the Kushans. Otherwise, he's not going to have his country, because the Kushans will have it.
Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't be a surprise.
True.
It's always fun because Zod is always one of those characters that's like half on your side and half on the other side. Every time he shows up, you're like, oh, should we root for him to die or should we hope he survives? Like, I don't know.
Die a glorious death, I guess. Or maybe figure out not to fight for Griffith, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting seeing all the designs of the monsters again. Because they are pretty, apart from Zod, all the other ones are pretty disgusting. Like half insect, half whatever, weird demon horror, right? Very much like it seemed like a lot of them were like the moth girl from the Elf Valley we saw when she was transformed into her demon form, right?
Mm. Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on.
A lot of misplaced mouths. Like, oh, look, my belly's a mouth. I'm like, oh, look, my crotch is a mouth. Okay. Lots of teeth. Very exciting.
Yeah, and weird fleshy appendages and bulbs,
Yes.
and yeah,
It's the name of my next book, Weird Fleshy Appendages. Stealing it.
it's like fleshy insects,
Yeah.
which is like I don't want to think about that.
Right.
Fleshy insect.
Yeah, but I think apart from Zod is the only named one we've seen before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of all these ones, I don't think there's another one of the main apostles. I don't think they can fly either. It's like I think we've seen. It's like Zod is the one that can fly. Then there's the Lancer one that goes with all the other Lancer all the other cavalry guys, right? It seems like each one is getting their own sort of posse or something of demons, right?
Makes sense.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess Zod is with the flying guys.
It's good.
But there seem to be a lot of apostles. It's like it didn't seem like it wasn't suggestive that there were these many earlier on, right? But we've been seeing quite a lot.
It's almost like there's a power creep. Like for every apostle, there should have been like someone walking around with a behelit for years, reaching this crisis moment where they've lost everything, offering up their sacrifice. Like each of these guys has a backstory like that. Like, come on, that's just a lot of like who's running who's like running all these parties. But I think it's almost
I
like
guess technically they're immortal, right? They live forever. Am I right?
yeah, but they can't have been very active, or the land would have been teeming with people eating things, right? Like there was almost no overt magic. So it means where were these apostles?
Yeah.
If they're old, where were they? 3 years before this, the land wasn't teeming with guys who could, eating children and stuff, and that seems to be their reason for being, is eating children and stuff.
Well, but if you think about it, they don't necessarily have to do it. They can just be normal, random people, I guess, technically, right?
I guess.
I'm trying to think.
They could have
Is there a reason why they have to do bad, horrific stuff apart from just wanting to do it? I don't know.
That's not clear.
Yeah.
We don't have a reason to think that exactly, except they all have been.
Yeah, that is true. Maybe, I don't know. Well, I guess, if you go through something very traumatic like that, you're probably not going to come out very well balanced.
Right.
Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think you'd want to give up everything you loved to gain some of these abilities and then just live peacefully for several hundred years waiting for Griffith to show up. You'd want to do something, especially if you made that sacrifice. You made that sacrifice because you have a goal. And, the goal is not to be like, the best crocheter in your village.
I don't know.
It could be a nice skill to have, though.
Yeah. So
the Shirky team up was kind of neat to see him team up with the armor and the Berserker armor.
Yeah. I feel like in both it's just, we've seen that before, sort of, like, it just, okay, well, you're just doing it again, right, I guess. Is it slightly different than before? Well, it does seem like Guts is a bit better at controlling it, right?
It's like,
it seems, maybe?
She can open his eyes and give him control while the helmet's still closed over his face.
Yeah.
So he seems to have more of his Berserker powers and still retain sort of conscious control. So it's an iteration, like it is different than what we saw before, but it's the same kind of thing that Shirky can bring him back from the brink. And I think that's part of what makes this volume feel slow. We're getting these iterative changes. It's like a battle we've seen. But we've seen these elephant guys before. Oh, but now there's several of them. Okay. So he's, but it's not. It doesn't feel as new. So it feels more like slower. I don't want to use the word slog because in the Wheel of Time, the slog was like 4,000 pages of book, and this is not. But
wow.
But it can feel a little. It's a little slow.
Yeah.
4,000 pages.
The Wheel of Time. Don't people usually say it's like 5 books or 4 or 5 books? That's the wheel, the slog.
Yeah, it's the central books, which is like.
It's got to be 4. Maybe it's.
I think it's over once before Brandon Sanderson gets into it. I think it's kind of like, I don't know if it's because of, the narrative required those books to be the slog, and then he just got the unlucky ones, but I think it's those ones, right? Like after the first 4 or something. I don't remember exactly. But
it's like 5 through 10, more or less, people, or 5 through 8. Depends on who you ask. Yeah. People will call that the slog. I don't know. I couldn't make it after book 2.
I thought 7 to 10 was the slog, but
never managed to finish it either. But
I finished.
I don't know what
I have so many other things I could be doing with this time. I couldn't justify reading book 3. It's like I can't.
I've heard the payoff is good though, but I've never gotten there.
It wasn't 14 books. I'd read all of it. I enjoyed it. I read nothing else for a year and a half, which may have.
Oh boy!
I did that with Malazan. I read the 10 books of Malazan in 1 year.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's all I did.
I took 4 years to read Malazan.
That's all I read.
Yeah, I don't think we're at that level at all. But, considering it is a manga, and they're pretty fast usually.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Most comic books are pretty fast. Well, maybe not Marvel and DC.
I mean, I read through these 20 volumes in like a week.
Yeah.
I think, where was I? We were like 24 when I said I'm going to read the rest. And I read the next 18. It didn't take me a month. And I wasn't reading all day and night. They go quick.
Yeah, I think I've read up to volume like 26 in like one day. I don't know, like several hours, but
Yeah.
You can just go through all of it very quickly if you want.
Mm-hmm. I guess there's that balance of reading, I don't know, say quickly, but reading at a decent pace, and also taking time to look at the artwork and the little nuances,
Yeah.
and so you can take extra time, but you don't really, it's one of those things. Finding that middle ground,
Fair enough.
like I know, like Paramita read them all in like a day or something. So
She read all the Malazan books in a week, so
yeah,
measuring by her standards is impossible. um, Speaking of art, I loved. I don't know. I know we've seen a lot of great artwork, but I don't know why I latch onto these things. But I loved that close up of the ship that we got. That was that was my favorite in this volume. The 2-page spread of the ship.
yeah.
There's a lot of good art in this volume. I was just looking through
Mm-hmm.
some stuff, and it does not disappoint.
No.
Trying to think what else happened in this one.
It's a lot of fighting. Guts got that one
A
big
lot of fighting.
offer.
Yeah.
We had a slight evolution in how Shirky can help him like manage the Berserker armor, and that not a lot else, I think. Oh, and then Zod came. Not
Then
much
Zod
happened with
came.
that, except we know Zod's not strong enough to just kill the Emperor.
Yeah. To just kill the Emperor. Oh, interesting.
He's not strong enough to just kill him, right? He can't just show up and like Zod and fighting the Emperor, right? That he didn't win. So he didn't get killed, but he didn't win. So it's not. We know the level of power is, the Emperor is a step up from Zod. Doesn't mean he's a step up from Griffith, right? Which is the open question, but a step up from Zod. So,
Do I remember correctly that Zod and Skeletor had a standoff a few volumes ago? Did they fight and had did Skeletor survive that confrontation, or did they not show us what happened there?
I don't remember the end, but we've seen them fight a couple times.
Hmm.
And,
Okay.
they talk as if they fought many times.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But Zod doesn't always unleash the full Zodness. He'll fight in his different forms. He doesn't always go Super Saiyan in every fight. I do kind of wish this whole manga was about Zod.
About Zod.
Zod, or the story of Zod would have been so much better. Or the story of or the those Kushan dudes, the assassin cult. I would totally have read a whole storyline about them.
Do we know anything about the backstory of Zod? I'm trying to think. It's got something to do with probably the skull guy, right?
We know they're old friends. I don't think it's clear like how that happened or anything. They've known each other for a long. They talk like, old friend,
Yeah.
Remember last time whatever. But I don't think we know what Zod is other than. I'm not even. Are we even clear? He must be an apostle, right? I think.
What do you mean, Zod?
I think they've said that.
Yeah.
That he's.
Well, he does transform.
Yeah, but there's other kinds of magical creatures out there. I think he's an apostle. I mean, I'm not 100% sure that I've read that they've said that explicitly.
He must be. I don't see what else he could be.
Yeah,
really.
it makes the most sense. Yeah, I want to see Zod's backstory. I guess we're not going to get all that. It's okay.
Yeah. It would be nice to have, even just like a spin-off couple of volumes or something, right?
Zod and Skeletor. Go to the beach.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that at some point we would get it in the original Miura, script or something, because it seemed like he was suggesting like, oh, well, he wants to explain about the skeleton guy and what happened before, and I don't know if we're gonna actually get it in this timeline.
There was definitely on our way to learning about Skeletor.
Yeah.
I really felt like we were going to get more of those details eventually, because we were getting some. Zod, we really haven't gotten like a lot of clues. So that might never have happened.
Yeah.
But it's fine to just
But
say also who wants to be the greatest fighter. Like that seems.
I thought, yeah, my thought was going to be like, oh, we're going to tell the story, and there's going to be some detail there which suggests how to kill Griffith or something. That has been my thought when I read it the first time in those parts. But again,
That'd be good.
we don't know if he changed his mind or something. But that's what it seemed to me that they were suggesting. Anyways. Okay.
Oh, I was trying to think what else happened in this one, but I think, yeah, like you said, I did like the I forget his name, the print, or they're gonna try and get his boat, and he's like, oh, I shouldn't have been. This isn't like I should have come. I'm going back home. Like,
Fair enough.
and Casca just like standing around with her ooh, and
Yeah. I think
so.
that's what's bothering me about the fact that we aren't making progress towards our destination, because I just want Casca to stop being the way she is now, and we've dragged it on for, what is it, 12 volumes? In No, more than that.
I think it's like 20,
Yeah,
right? Or
15 at
it's been a
least.
while.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't see, like, even if she gets out of it, like, it's really hard for me to imagine her going back to what it was before. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's been so long. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not what it was before, but a functional adult. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, this isn't really true, but it's almost like a disservice to how awesome her character was before to leave her like this for so long. Maybe if Miura had like finished it and then we got 20 more volumes of Casca being awesome, that's cool. But knowing there's only 11 left and we're moving at a glacial pace towards this, she'll recover and then that's it. That's all it's going to be. And I'm unhappy about that, but it's fine. I did enjoy this volume for all that.
Yeah, even narratively, like the function Casca has in this party, let's say. Okay, let's say if she recovers, what role does she has no role, right? What can
Mm,
she do? What is she gonna do? I don't know. It feels like her role is being something there for Guts to, well, protect or react to or feel guilty about, right? I don't
yeah.
know. I can't. It's hard for me to imagine how she would slot in on what's gonna happen. Like, she's not gonna be the same because she can't be like close to the ability of Guts fighting anymore. Like, that's not gonna happen. But that's what she was before. There was some equals, I guess. You know what I mean? But that's not gonna be the case anymore.
But she could be like Serpico, not that they would be on remotely the same quest if she had been functioning. But like she could match up to Serpico's fighting abilities, and they have been useful, right? Except they can't go back to the witch and get some magical objects for themselves. But maybe Sherka can make them some. But,
Some
uh,
from the elves.
Yeah, I
yeah.
guess.
And now that
Yeah, she would probably.
can I
Yeah.
have a magic bow, please? Something.
Very cool. All right, well, it's, volume 31. So it's fun to be back. Missed you guys. So, Joe, before we call it a day, will you tell us where people can find you in
Yeah,
Grimdorf?
jcmburn.com and or go to Patreon at jcmburn, and you can follow the free tier and you'll get links to every issue of Grim Dwarf magazine. And there's submission guidelines in there as well, so people want to send me stories. You can go there, you can read the guidelines, and then I'll give you a hint. I'm not saying no. So if you want to see your stories in print, by which I
Mm.
mean not being printed, uh, send them my way.
Nice. Maybe I'll write something up. I want to do that to you, Joe. I'm just
I love it.
I want to do that to you.
Yeah.
Dan.
We should do something. Sometimes maybe get all the people that are not, well, they think they're not good at writing stories, and have a competition to write something, and then have fun reading our terrible stories. I think that would be fun. Instead of having all the people which are like, oh, I want to be a writer or I'm a good writer or something like that, just get all the trash, like what I would write or something. I'm not saying what you would write is trash, Steve, but, I'm just saying.
No, it is. It would be. You're not lying.
First thing anyone.
But I'm sure there would be interesting, like you see outsider art and you're like, oh, these people have no clue how to do art. That's why it's interesting. It's like, oh, let's get people that have no clue how to write something good. It's going to be interesting. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to find me, DNFire17 on PageWing Forum, or if you find my real name, just send me an invite on Facebook. I love getting random invites on Facebook from people. It's the best thing ever. So definitely do that.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
And for sure.
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Reading by the Rainy Mountain. And the About page has other ways to reach me and links to my podcast. That's it. Oh, and I hang on the PageWing forum. I was like, I'm missing something that I always say. I hang on the PageWing forum a lot.
Awesome. So we'll see everyone next week for volume 32.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.